What is going on, everyone? My name is Boit, and I am back with some more Age of Mythology, the Titans action, spawning in the left of the map, in the blue color, playing as Isis. He's from the DoD clan. His name is Joe. In the right hand of the map, in the red color, playing as Odin, his name is GrandMonster. This is game 2 in the best of 3 series between I'm Joe and GrandMonster. Joe is currently up 1-0. Played very, very well in that first game, and you know, it's best of 3 series, anything can happen, but being up 1 game really helps. Means you only have to win 1 more. GrandMonster, on the other hand, has to win another game. So we're going to see if he can manage to pull that one out on this Oasis map. Odin is one of those gods you don't get to see very much of, so we never really know what's going to go on, who's going to be on top, what the strategies are, just because of how different Odin plays to the other Norse gods and how minimal people play this god. However, Voobly Balance Patch 3.0, huge buffs for Odin, can do a lot of good stuff, and you know, we're going to see if he can manage to pull that one out. Joe, on the other hand, he's a big proponent. A big proponent of the Anubite play, going through Anubis with Isis. It's very interesting seeing the play, because you don't often get to see Anubites on patch 1.03, simply because they're just not very good. They're a bit slow. Their recharge rate on their jumps a bit slow, and you can't really get that many of them out with Isis or Set, simply because the monuments cost so much. However, the buffs that Voobly Balance Patch 3.0 give to them give yourself so many more resources to deal to give yourself strong play with Anubites. Essentially, just their speed is buffed, and their recharge rate is buffed when you upgrade them. So you can really do a lot of harass, especially to slow units such as Hersa, who basically are the counters to Anubites, but they can't really do all that much. Anyways, we are seeing the Skraeling here is going to be bashing down one of those obelisks. The Skraeling is currently a unique unit for Norse. They can only get one of them. Ulsarks still exist. Skraelings, you can't bolt them, and you can alt S them. So they're essentially an early game cheese prevention tool, simply because, I mean, it's not really cheese because it's not all in, but it's just like a pretty broken strat that Greek can do and Egyptians can do to Norse, where they send their catastrophic scout and they start hitting the Ulfsark, and then the Ulfsark can't finish their building, as we're seeing a Ford Temple going up. So basically you can hit Alt S on that Skraeling and he can finish the building without being interrupted. And he survives Bolt by not having it cast on him. You basically can't cast that Bolt on him. So GrandMonster going for that very early forward temple. Yet again, he used this strat in the last game, so he gets to put on some pressure. He's going to see that there is a bunch of food over here. There's some nice walls going up here. This is very defensive here. He's actually using... Joe's actually using 2 villagers here to be building these houses up, as well as a 3rd villager building these walls. So he's very concerned about getting hit early. He's only got that 1 monument at the moment, but that doesn't really mean much. He can chuck it up a little bit later once he advances. And he's going to be getting all of those resources coming in from the food here. We jump over to GrandMonster's perspective. He's going super fast through Heimdall. So he's going to be grabbing this canopic jar of Imseti, or I don't even know how to say that. He's going to be grabbing that relic, and then he's going to be moving over here, probably chuck up a couple of barracks or something, and attempt to be pushing off this hunt. If he actually pushes off this hunt at early enough in the game, he's actually going to be able to prevent that classical age coming from Joe, because Joe's actually not even close to the classical age at this point. So Heimdall's infantry training time has been grabbed there by GrandMonster. GrandMonster pumping out Hersa, and he's going to be moving them over to the other side of the map. He definitely... Did he scout out? He has scouted this out, but I don't think he scouted it out early enough. What you want to kind of try and do is potentially go double Ulfsark and scout where the enemy's hunt is, and then build your temple on that side. Delay your advance time by like 15 seconds or something, and you're going to be fine. He is watching this temple going up, so he knows he's got at least a minute, probably a minute and a half with the temple going up so slow. Jumping back over to Joe's perspective, he does have the 400 food already, so he's totally fine with that advance time. And these villagers are going to be attempting to hit this Hersa. This many villages, 9 villages, is more than enough to deal with the Hersa, so he's just going to be microing that one back and forth. If you're a Norse in this situation, just walk in, bash a villager, walk back, bash a villager, try and utilize your own micro in order to delay their gather time. You don't want them to be gathering essentially for too long. We are seeing this Iron Jar move in here, going to be dealing a bunch of damage to that wall. It does so much damage to these walls. They take insane amounts of hit point loss simply because of that nerf to them. They cost the same amount of gold as pre-patch, but they get bashed down super quickly. So that's a big win there for GrandMonster. I'm just forgetting people's names. Anubis is coming through for Joe, so Joe's happy with that Anubis. He's only got the 1 monument up at the moment though, so he's only going to be able to produce a second Anubite. We are seeing these units are still harassing here, however, getting very low on HP. A third Hersa is in the fray at the moment, and we're seeing a couple of those extra Hersa moving in, and the village is continually getting harassed here. It's very good, this harass. It's going to push GrandMonster very, very far ahead on the economy, which is what he wants, but you really don't want to be losing too many of these units at this point. And then once Anubis comes through, this Pharaoh does a significant amount of damage. However, all of these villages deciding to retreat now. Not actually losing any of those villagers. Still 12 villagers there. So GrandMonster not picking off a villager. However, all of that damage was done. So it's going to be very, very good. GrandMonster getting that favor income by bashing down this granary. The Pharaoh moving forward. He's going to be attempting to pick off this low HP Hersa, which he does manage to do. And he's going to force... basically force GrandMonster to retreat there. GrandMonster losing a couple of Hersa, but he did so much damage, I kind of believe it's worth it. He's going to have to retreat now. He knows that the Anubites are coming, and this is a location that Joe probably knows about. Oh, no, he doesn't know about it, so he's going to have to scout that one out. We are seeing Necropolis coming through. Necropolis gives you 30% monument favor increase. It's absolutely huge, and you're going to have that second monument, so that's going to be a bunch of those Anubites pumping. He's getting Feet of the Jackal as well. Such a cheap upgrade. 90 gold and 5 favor. Anubite's going to be moving forward, and they're going to be trying to find the hunt, the wood, and the gold of GrandMonster and deal a significant amount of damage to GrandMonster. GrandMonster's going to be retreating now. Build up a second town center. I like this. He put on a great pressure early game. Grab your second town center, put a significant amount of pressure on your opponent. Simply by having that second town center, you're going to be able to boom very, very hard. And he's playing catch up at the moment. He's not grabbing his second town center. He's staying 1 town center on this Anubites. A little bit all in, so you have to do a little bit of damage in order to keep up with your opponent's economy. And we're going to see if he can be able to do that one, because chucking up that first longhouse, he's got a bunch of these here. So if he can position them, basically just position them right on the line of the villages, when that Anubite jumps in, he's going to take damage. That's what you want to do. You don't want to chase the Anubite around. You leave him on your hunt source, on your villages, on your wood source, on your gold source. And that way, if he wants to jump in, he's going to have to take some damage and then run away. So he's going to take a couple of hits. And Hersa do so much damage to these guys as well. He's got 250 HP. Hersa have a... 500% bonus against myth units, so that's 9 times 5, I think, so 45 damage a hit. So basically 5 hits or 6 hits, and it's a dead Anubite. And you can see that's where this is happening. He manages to get a jump there, and hitting these guys, not so great. Basically, also want to Alt-S your gatherers here. Looks like Unumite's going to be running around and dealing a bunch of damage here while this is going on. But that town center going to be going up. Going to be very, very good as these Hersa continue to chase around. Need to finish this wall off. It's going to be very, very good. We see a second Anubite coming into the fray here. Going to be able to do even more damage, however. Not really able to kill off any villages. It's kind of like that harass we were seeing GrandMonster doing, except without any dead villages or any real significant damage at this point. So Joe's basically just preoccupying GrandMonster at this point in the game with these Anubites. You can't really put any pressure on, and we're going to see that these units get moved back. There's another bug that happens. It's not really a bug, it's just how the Anubites are coded. If units are moving and the Anubite jumps, they miss. So you can actually, if you know which units gets jumped on, you can just micro him back. We are seeing an armory going up for GrandMonster. That throwing axeman does get picked off. Good win there for Joe. Going to see that armory go up pretty fast there. And GrandMonster looks like he's looking to go to the heroic age, probably through Scardia. I'm not seeing much use for Njord in this game, just because of basically what what Joe can do. He's got access to priests. Walking Wood's not so good, and frost counters ancestors very, very strong. Simply because he can just frost it and it does nothing. That's the general gist there. We are seeing that second town center for Joe going up. He's going to move over and grab this granary, kill off this temple, and get his own infantry of Imseti. Or is it Imset? It might be Imset, because I don't know. Anyways, these Anubites running around. This wall's almost finished. Oh, it is finished. However, Anubites can actually jump over the wall if there's units close. Like this throwing axeman, jump onto him, run through, and then you can do a bunch of damage. We did see a bunch of GrandMonster's villagers have moved onto wood, so he is looking to go to that. He is going to that heroic age through Skyday, so he's going to be able to throw up a couple of hill fort and start pumping out Huskal. So he's playing for that heroic age Egyptian army to counter. Unfortunately, it looks like this Unibot's going to be able to jump over this wall, and they do decide to jump. Oh, not quite making it over the wall though. They don't make it over, so they're going to have to retreat there. That's a bit funny. Nice little trick there. So GrandMonster's going to be able to go. What looks like Frost Giants, going to be able to go for Huskal, and he's going to be able to see what he does there. This temple has been deleted. Does not want to get that free Frost Giant spawn in the base of his opponent, so he deletes that one. And we do see that these Anubites are going to be moving in yet again. Actually looking like he might lose this one. If he gets that town center fire on that low HP Anubite, he is going to be falling. However, not going to be happening. Does live another day. So these Anubites are going to be running through here, looking for some more damage to be doing. He is going to be noticing these walls moving onto this gold mine, which is going to be pretty big come heroic age, where he might use ancestors on this location or something like that. We are seeing these Anubites going to get trapped in here with this last wall. They're not going to be able to retreat. So basically Joe's Anubites are stuck in here because they can't jump out, and we are going to be seeing this Frost Giant going to be able to do a lot of damage to these guys. Managed to get that special attack, finishing off that second Anubite. So basically there's only 2 more left, so they're going to be retreating or just kind of running around seeing what they can do. Definitely want to be alt-essing these villagers. As you can see, hitting so many of them with that special attack. That's crazy damage right there, as these Anubites are just doing so much work at this point. We are seeing Joe's looking like he's looking to go to that heroic age himself. He's got 27 villagers on food. He actually managed to pick off a villager there, jumping in, trying to be doing what he can. This Frost Giant going to be moving in. All of this town center fire deals so much damage to these guys. They're going to be looking to pick off this villager here, continuously jumping around and doing what they can do. He could move into this back line here of the wood. Does he know about it? He doesn't know about the wood, but he knows that there has to be wood villagers there because they're nowhere else. He's choosing not to look there. There's an idle dwarf here, and so much going on at this point. Joe just trying to micro as well as he can, keeping all that stuff going. Joe is going through, looks like he's going through Hathor this game. Hathor's going to be very, very strong god to pick. He's going to grab a Locust, and he's going to have all that Fader income. So he's going to be able to go for Petsukos and do so much damage with those. The rock as well, going to be able to be used. Norse has a really difficult time dealing with basically rock raids, because you have to get that throwing axeman upgrade in order to kill them, and then also get throwing axeman to kill the rock. And you don't want to be building, you really don't want to be building throwing axeman against Egyptian, because they're so strong. They're so weak against everything except for spearmen, and spearmen are generally not built as Egyptian against Norse. It's very, very rare you see that. Normally you're going to see a bunch of chariot archers and axemen to deal with Huskal. So it's basically, that's how it is. These Anubites going to be moving in here, going to be using that Plague of Serpents a little bit early. It looks like he's going to be using that Hathor. He's going to be casting Locust there. That's going to deal so much damage. Look at all of those Locusts, and those serpents stop these villagers from moving away. And it looks like they're even attacking the serpents, which you don't want to do. So many villagers die there. That's a huge Locust for Joe. Joe's going to be so far ahead in the economy now. After all that he did in order to survive there, all of those villages, all those wars fall there, and we are seeing these villages moving forward, going to be casting or building a Migdal stronghold on this location. We are seeing a hill fort going up now for GrandMonster. So how is GrandMonster going to be recovering from that? He needs to start jumping over to GrandMonster's perspective. He's got very low resources. He doesn't have a lot of gold in the bank, and he's only going to have 5 of those villages on gold. So he's going to have to start producing some gatherers and chucking them on gold. I'd take some villagers off of wood at this point. chuck them over onto gold, and then slowly start transitioning them back onto wood as you get gatherers, as you get dwarves to replace them. And that's kind of what we're seeing there. He's moved a couple of villages off of the wood line there in order to come over here, but geez, that was such a brutal locust, such a strong god power, or it can be such a strong god power. It has been nerfed. I don't know if you saw, but I did highlight it. The locust is smaller than it used to be. So it used to be a really large patch and it moves pretty randomly. So you can deal like a ridiculous amount of damage. However, its kind of radius is a lot smaller now, so it's more concentrated. We are going to see GrandMonster moving in here. There's not a lot of units here for Joe. So Joe's actually gone 3 town centers, which is super greedy. And he's not going to have a lot of units here to deal with this. So GrandMonster sitting on those 2 town centers with all those Frost Giants. One of those Anubites could get attacked there. We are seeing a rock is out, and those Iron Hedge are going to be making his units go very, very strong. That Guardian Anubite does get frosted, so he's going to be moving those Hersa over to pick off that Anubite there. He's going to fall very, very quickly, and this Migdol Stronghold is going to be falling down as this game goes on. It looks like he could even move in and just bash down this fortified town center as well. There's just no units here. However, we are seeing another Pasukos coming out. 5 Pasukos already. Oh, and he's building a second rock. I'm not sure about that. I guess he can run over some tower fire, and he's not going to lose all those Pasukos. Are we going to see this barracks going up? However, it's going to get picked off straight away. Frost Giant using that special ability on for the Axeman and a second rock coming. So they're going to be starting to move out at this point. We are seeing Undermine getting cast here, and all of the units going to be moving on over here at this point. We're seeing Mercenary get built as well, but that's not going to be enough. Mercenary is so weak. 40% hack armor, 44. Actually, that's quite a bit of armor for a Mercenary unit. However, so many units here for GrandMonster. This town center is going to fall. And that's a huge win there for GrandMonster, making Joe move back onto that second town center, or that 2 town center play. Losing this town center, going to give GrandMonster that 4 versus 2 town center advantage if he can grab this town center as well. Chucking up a market over here as well. Jumping back over to GrandMonster's perspective, we are seeing these rocks moving in. They're actually moving straight for that gold mine, making a beeline for it. Going to be trying to pick off so many of those villages. You can actually use 1 or actually get 2 Pastustros on each villager, and they one-hit a villager, I think, unless they've been nerfed in... that's how it is in Nilla. Anyways, we are seeing a Frost Giant here, so he's going to be able to frost one of these, but oh my god, those Pastustros do so much damage. When you have that many, 1 Frost Giant, not quite enough. You actually need to have like 3 or 4 here just to frost each individual one. But they're going to be picking that guy off, and then they're going to be dealing a bunch of damage to those villages. As you can see, 1 villager dies instantly there as they're moved back into that town center. So we're going to have to see some Herso get built over here. You're going to be doing that, and we are seeing this town center go up. Bunch of spearmen are out though. A little bit interesting. Not sure why spearmen are getting built. I guess he's scared of the Jarls. Odin does have very, very strong Jarls. And we're going to be seeing those rocks retreating at this point in the game. Yep, just going to be running over this hill fort, or just trying to find some more stuff. He's actually got a really nice location here. He can start hitting at this point, so they're going to be picking off a bunch of these villages. Definitely didn't micro these ones a little bit better. That's not what you want to do, but I guess that's fine. Managed to pick off 2 villages with that raid here. And what's going on here? We're just seeing a bunch of units getting built for Joe. So Joe's just trying to put on all the pressure. Nice micro here, going to be able to pick off this Herso without taking too much damage, and then he's going to be retreating, or like basically just can move back over here and do what he can do to this location. These villagers are going to have to retreat back into the town center again, and basically what we need to see is a watchtower get built here. Watchtower gets built to pick off the rocks, and or Herso can just move back in and deal what they can do to those Pastustros when they get produced. GrandMonster needs to continue to be active with this army, move up to this location, bash it down, and force Joe to react. Joe's sitting at 145 of 146 population, so he's not behind by any stretch of the imagination in population. GrandMonster is sitting on 145, 145, except he's all hill fort units versus basically a half and half. So his hill fort units are going to be, they should be stronger than the classical and heroic army of the Egyptian player, especially with those Huskarls and not that many Axemen. Huskarls do beat Spearmen 1-to-1, and do beat those chariot archers, just because they're just strong units in general for Norse, and you basically need to produce axemen in order to deal with them. Axemen shred them. They absolutely shred them. We are seeing this raid come in again, going to be picking off a bunch more of those villages. There is a Jarl here though, and a couple of those Herser, so they're going to have to move back in order to deal with this, and it looks like that Jarl is going to get picked off. Another villager gets picked off there, another 2 villagers get picked off there, so GrandMonster just keeps getting punished by this raid, and there's really not much he can do apart from build that watchtower up, which you can afford it at the moment, so he just has to hit that P button and then build that watchtower. However, not doing that one just yet. Either that, or you could separate his Herser into 3 different spots and force one location over here to get for those Pursuit just to get dropped, and then that's in Town Center Fire. We are seeing a couple of hits there on that Pursuit just, but Joe just way too quick. We are seeing GrandMonster moving up to this location now, going to be attempting to tear down this Town Center and get a 5-to-1 Town Center advantage. We are seeing that 4th Town Center for GrandMonster going up, so he's going to be producing some dwarves onto this location. Pursuit just moving on over here. Those watchtowers going to be doing a little bit of damage. Do need to get crenellations if you want to hit a moving rock, though. They do move quite quickly. We also see another Frost Giant in this location at this point. We are seeing all of these. This Town Center is going to be falling at this point, and Joe moving a little bit, reacting to this a little bit late. That Town Center going to be falling. And I don't think that Joe's going to be able to defend against any of this. There's actually just so many units, because it's funny, because you lost so many units as Norse, you don't have that much population, so he's actually over armied. This is one of those things you don't see very often in Age of Mythology, the Titans, because they have basically just so much they can do with their villages that they never over army. But if you lose so many villages, it happens so much. We do see Son of Osiris does get cast there. However, Frost going down straight away. What you need to do is now surround that Son of Osiris, wall him in, and basically just kill off all of these units. It's a very good Frost. Managed to get that 5th Town Center up. So GrandMonster sitting at 164 population can get to 200 now. That's insane. So basically all GrandMonster needs to do now is sit at that 200 population and try and maintain it, and he's going to be able to win that game. Meteor Stronghold going up for Joe. However, that one's no way that one's going to be going up at this point. We are seeing that Son of Osiris is taking a little bit of damage there by all those throwing axemen and the Town Center, and he's going to be moving back in, and he's basically going to be able to kill that Son of Osiris off at this point. Those rocks moving in, going to be trying to move back into this location to help defend. Bunch of these Frost Giants doing so much damage. There is a mummy coming out now though, so that mummy can one-hit some of these Frost Giants. However, just take two of these Frost Giants up, and then you can Frost Breath a mummy. Nope. Unfortunately, misclick there. That Son of Osiris is going to fall instantly to GrandMonster. So that's a huge win there for GrandMonster. Those Pursuits just now coming in, going to be doing so much damage to those Frost Giants. They do have a 100% bonus versus Myth unit, so they do 100 damage a shot against those Frost Giants. So Frost Giant does fall, and basically GrandMonster going to be retreating out at this point. He does have his gold operation moving up here, so GrandMonster could move up here and get that gold stuff onto Joe. Joe's sitting at 800 gold though, so he's got quite a bit. It's 6,000 wood. He's got so many resources, but he's got no population to use it with. 6,000 wood, that's insane. He's going to be seeing these rocks move over here, going to be attempting to deal a bunch more damage to more villages and continue that harass going. GrandMonster now seeing 186 pop of 120. Oh, sorry, 186 of 200, so he's almost at that max pop cap. Still has that medium Huskarls though. Might want to think about getting some of those heavy Huskarls, so strong. We are seeing that the hill fort is going to be getting taken down by that catapult. Catapult upgrades so strong, 63 crush attack, and then they do 150. Oh, it's not actually any extra damage, but Town Centers have basically no crush defense. We are seeing these Besukos going to be killing so many villages there. That's not what you want to see for GrandMonster. GrandMonster losing all those villages there, and that's very, very good win for Joe. This is one of those situations where it's like Joe could probably win this game sitting at 1 Town Center versus 5 Town Centers. So we're going to see if he can pull this one out. He basically is going to be picking this Town Center off, and he's going to be able to get that one back, and then he just has to move over to this location and pick it off. We are seeing a watchtower going up for Joe. GrandMonster, on the other hand, has spotted this location now. He sees that he's getting mined from. He's going to be picking off the Seeds Workshop, and he's going to be moving in in and picking off this gold location, forcing Joe to move over to here, where he doesn't, I don't think he really wants to be over here because there's a hill fort here, there's frost giants here, there's so much of that action that that GrandMonster wants. If he can pick off all these villages, oh, he's going through Balder as well. So he's going to be able to do so much damage with that. He's going to be grabbing Ragnarok. How's his armory upgrades looking? Jumping over here, he's got no armory upgrades, but how many villages has he got? He's got to have so many villages sitting at 5 town centers. So yeah, he's got an insane amount of villages. So that's going to jump his population up to at least 350, if not more. A bunch of these villages do get picked off for GrandMonster, and that's huge because there's no gold income now for Joe. Joe's sitting at 500 gold. He does have 700 wood in the bank, so he can trade that in for quite a bit of gold. Maybe it would be somewhere at like the 50 or 40 trade mark. It does fall to 18 very, very quickly though, and once it hits there, it's very bad. You don't really want to trade at that point. We are seeing a bunch of these villages going to get picked off by this hill fort as well as they're retreating. These rocks are going to be retreating back to their base as well. That town center is going to go up for Joe, so basically he just needs to be concerned about that Ragnarok at this point. Also getting another gold mine. However, there is a nice gold mine here that he can grab, so he's going to be moving a bunch of these villages up here. We do see GrandMonster hitting Balder. How's those armory upgrades coming? Armory upgrades are coming through. He's going to be having heroic upgrades, and that Ragnarok does go right now. When you cast Ragnarok, what you want to do is you want to grab up to that idle military banner, cast shift, and then click where you want your units to go. Click shift and click where you want your units to go. For GrandMonster at this point, I reckon just put all of your units in this location here and then gold starve, kick off this town center, and then you've got this game in the bag. But Joe does have that opportunity to be spamming watchtowers right now. Sell all that wood, build a bunch of watchtowers, and basically force GrandMonster to fight under those watchtowers. It's kind of what you want to do. Also build out a bunch of axemen as well. Don't build Migdol strongholds. Never a good idea. They fall way too quickly, and you do have architects, so they do survive for a little bit. And we are seeing those Ragnarok heroes of Ragnarok moving in now, picking off all those villages. That mummy does fall. A bunch of these guys moving in now, picking off all these mummy. All these Ragnaroks are going to deal so much damage with the fight up this location as well. Need to move these guys in to pick off this fortified town center. All of these Migdol strongholds are going to fall. All these villages are going to fall. No more gold income for Joe, so Joe can't even build watchtowers or mercenary anymore. No more axemen going to be coming out. Joe's going to get 101 of 146 population. All of these units falling, villages falling, axemen falling, Migdol strongholds falling, all the units falling up over here, picking off that market. There's now there's a market up here he can trade from, and he is trading at this point, but now the units going to be moving on to this town center as well as this town center up here. All of the units of Joe are going to be falling at the moment. GrandMonster looks like he's going to be taking this game. There's nothing that Joe can be doing at this point. Going to micro his socks off at this point. He just basically has 7 chariot archers here. These units are way too much here. We do see that there is even that mythic age of pierce armor for GrandMonster as well. So these units deal so much damage, picking off this location here, going to be picking off this location, picking off this location, everything falling for Joe at the moment. If we jump over to GrandMonster's perspective, he's sitting at 315 population with gold income coming in. Can also think about building some of those fire giants at the moment as well as he queues those guys up to get even more favor. Fire giants, even once the Ragnarok fades, fire giants come in and they're so difficult to deal with. This fortified town center is going to be going down. This fortified town center has fallen. This Migdol stronghold has fallen, and Joe decides to tap out. GG, well played there by GrandMonster. Such a good play, managing to survive all of that harass, losing all of those dwarves, losing all those villages to rock raids, but keeping a cool head. I know it's such a frustrating thing to play against rocks as Norse. I hate it. As soon as someone builds a rock, it's just like, well, that's lame. I have to build so many things in order to defend against it now, and it's just kind of unfair. But GrandMonster ignores it. Essentially ignores it, goes for this crazy huge army play, picks off all of the town centers of Joe. Joe played a little bit greedy there, grabbing that extra 3rd town center. He could have stayed 2 town centers like GrandMonster and then got the army out in order to deal with what GrandMonster was doing. And basically, he would have been able to stay out ahead, and it would have been probably fine. Joe could have picked off that win there, but GrandMonster pulls that one out with that Ragnarok. Gold mines were all forward. There was no gold mines left left, he'd basically controlled the entire map. So no market could be, no trade route could be made there for Joe. And so unfortunately for Joe, he does lose. Fortunately for GrandMonster, Odin getting a win in this tournament. So now the series is 1-1. If you enjoyed this game, please rate, comment, and subscribe. My name is Boit, and I'll see you guys next time.